Hi, Alan. How are you?
I'm very good. It's very hot weather here. So
Okay.
because I come from a half Scottish, half Irish background, hot weather is very difficult for me. So
Um,
I've got my linen on and windows open. So if there's a little noise, it's because I need to breathe, you know?
okay. So, friends, Alan, in short, Al, us. So, I will tell you guys more about Al. He is been running his full-time practice from the past 10 plus years. Al is certified in NLP, IEMT, which is Integral Eye Movement Therapy, and hypnosis and also provocative therapy. Apart from this, Al is a martial artist for over 30 years, former British kickboxing champion, former English Thai boxing champion, brown belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, is a research nerd, husband, father of two lovely children. He gets overexcited when others succeed. That's an amazing quality of a coach, Al. And he takes too many photos of Jack Russell and Mitzi. And so, Alan, here is my first question to you. What inspired you to turn from a martial artist to a life coach?
So this is a very good question. And first of all, thank you so much for having me on your show. I really appreciate it, the opportunity. What I noticed was I just many years ago, I mean, I've been working 12 years, so many years ago, I thought I would try the system that I devised to work with athletes, specifically fighters, which is a very hard thing to do, to receive pain and
Yes.
etc. I thought I'm going to experiment and I'm going to try to use the exact same approach that I use with the fighters, with business people, entrepreneurs, people in life. And I never told them, I was sneaky. I never told them that I was using the same system that I use with the athletes. And I got some very good results because many times in life, we see life as a battle. And that's like a very obvious metaphor that we can use. It doesn't work all the time, but many times, you know, I can use the same techniques, the same attitudes of resilience, persistence, the ability to learn from failure, which is huge for me, to transform failure. It sounds really weird, but I actually, with anyone that I work with, their failures are more important to me than their successes, because the
Wow.
failure gives the good data, right? That gives rich data set. Whereas a win, you can say, oh yeah, I won, yeah, I succeeded, I managed to do the task, yeah, great, fantastic. But you won't go back because you're taken with the glory and the joy. You won't go back. How did I win? You don't care about that anymore. This thought is gone from your mind. And so your potential for growth is less from a success than it is from a failure. So with a failure, you're very, oh, what happened? How did I do it? So I have a system to say, let's look, let's pick apart the pieces so we can get rich data, use this rich data to allow you to be propelled further into the future. So I'm interested in failure. I don't see it as a bad thing. I see it as we have a lovely, it's like a gold mine, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's really how I started.
Okay. That's wonderful. And Al, you are into business coaching as well.
Yeah.
So, what is this connection into business? Obviously, people have like, business is uncertain, or like, what is going to happen, competition, all that. I could see a connection between the
Mhm.
um, mindset. It is same, But still, could you please elaborate more about your business coaching experience?
Yeah, sure. So mainly I work with people who are leaving the corporate world and joining to become entrepreneur, business owner,
Hmm.
and smaller business owners. It's not huge. I have worked with some very high people in corporate who want some extra help, that are executive level. They want some clarity or something like this. But most of the people that I work with they're starting out, and so they're going from a system where that there is an existing structure for them to work into one where I have to make up my own structure. So I help them with that, and I'm not giving them a structure. I'm helping them work out their own structure that is going to be beneficial and work for them. And again, using failure as a tool, or when things don't work out, then it's like, aha. So I worked out that if I sleep later than 10 o'clock, I don't get anything done. So now I have to make it earlier, and just being flexible, with behavior, and almost being detached from not being quite so sensitive and so personal about uh, wins or losses or successes or failures, but just being a little bit more detached, and being able to just see things as they are. So that's kind of my approach. Help people formulate their minds, separate their heart from their head if that's necessary. Sometimes we have to connect the heart with the head, and just treating people, because everyone is different, and no two people are the same. Whenever in my early times, I would say younger years, whenever I said this kind of person is going to respond to this kind of way of treating them, or working with them, never works. It's always the opposite. And then I'm thinking, oh my God. So now I don't judge people. I take people as I see them, and we work out something that's going to work for them. And I'm very interested and uh, in support. Support is a big thing for me. So people feel supported. So as soon as they're in the session's finished, a lot of people, okay, if you want to do more work, you come back for another session. For me, I will say, look, you've done the session. Part of the cost of the session is the support that you get after that. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
And so, I mean, I still support people that, I'm, connected with some years down the line, because it's not, uh, um, I want them to succeed. It's not like, oh, I want them to succeed for 1 hour. Like while I work with them, I want them to succeed, because it's good for them and it's good for me, and like, world's a better place if two people are happy instead of one person happy.
Got it. Amazing. That's awesome, Al. And Al, you also offer therapy sessions
Uh-huh. Yeah,
in Essex and London. So
yeah,
um, yeah, this is amazing. So what fascinates me to know more about your work is like I'm always coming from like say there is this martial artist
hmm,
who offers life coaching services, then
hmm,
business coaching services.
hmm,
Like, of course, obviously, you would have personally experienced a lot of personal setbacks as well.
yeah,
As you said, there is a lot of data in the failures which you are
uh-huh.
interested to extract.
Uh-huh.
So, what is your role of as a therapist? Your work? Could you please explain more about it?
Sure. So my role as a therapist is not to heal.
Mm-hmm.
That's not it. It's because how can I? I'm over here. You're over there, right?
Yes.
How can I? I don't have. I have a magic wand. It's my son's toy. This is all I have, and it's broken. It doesn't work properly. So
Yes.
so so what I will do is, but my desire for people to live a beautiful life, and to follow their path is important to me. And so I will do whatever I need to do with that person, so that they go from being in a bad situation to a normal situation where they can rest, breathe, gather themselves, and then continue what they would call a normal life, you and I would call a content life, you know, a nice, peaceful life, a happy life, an enjoyable life. And I feel very strongly about that. You know, that I don't want people, you know, who wants people suffering or having setbacks? It's not nice. So, so I'll do, but you know, the thing is some, because it's important to me, I don't mind stepping outside of myself. So I'm not always super compassionate and kind and this and that. I am, but that's inside here. If I have to be, you know, awkward, annoying, challenging, you know, be bold with them, if it will get the output that will bring them to normal, to good, to centered, I will do it. They don't need to be my best friend. If they
Yes.
can be, but if they can be a friend, that's beautiful. But I don't. That's not my role. My role is to help them uh, heal themselves, figure out themselves, because I can't do it. I can just say, okay, you own a warehouse. In this warehouse, there is this. These are the resources that you have to draw upon that you didn't even know that were resources. Now, why don't we try using a little piece of this and then use that, and then maybe they'll use a piece of that to allow. But they're their resources that they're using. I just open my mouth and talk. I'm not doing anything. I'm not magic. They're magic. You know, the people are magic. The inside of them is the magic. So if I can help them unlock, say, look, you dropped the key. The key is there. No, open that door. This is all I do. I'm not special at all. I'm very mediocre. I don't think of myself as anything great, but I have passion for the person to uh, go from just surviving to a place where they can live and have some comfort and joy and peace and happiness and a future and an eye to the future that is not a dark eye, that is has light in it, you know.
Got it. And yes, here comes my favorite question. I've been wanting to know more about this through you. I'm sure, like, see, the moment most of us, at least I, like, waking up is a challenge, but when you have been trained hard to become a champion, waking up, exercise, practice,
Mm.
and then when you participate in a tournament,
Mm.
not every match you would have won. There
Yeah.
could be failures, there could be this stress,
Mm.
a lot of things
Yeah.
would have gone in your mind.
Mm.
So
Mm.
you helped other athletes, you helped various people.
Mm-hmm.
What is this warrior mindset about? How can a person deal with the fear of failure, pain, fear of receiving pain or criticism, Alan?
Okay, um so it's helping somebody understand that um it's all a journey. It's all a journey. So it it win or lose only matters if the person is never going to fight again. So it's like, if you're only going to ever have one fight, then yeah, of course you want to win. But otherwise, being able to, and again, I'm stealing from very Eastern concepts of detachment, of being dispassionate about something. These aren't things that I've created. You know, so it's just being able to be flexible and sometimes to associate, to attach, and sometimes to detach. And the wisdom comes when knowing to, you know, if you're in your lover's embrace and you're having a beautiful hug, that's the wrong time to detach. Right?
Yes.
That's the time to associate and enjoy everything, the beautiful hug. You know, you don't think about, oh, have I done the shopping for my auntie next week? You know, you don't think about that in the middle of an embrace, right?
Oh,
So it's learning when to attach and detach. And so being able to detach and look at something and go, okay, that particular performance,
hmm.
I did this. I will have the person almost pretend to be an analyst analyzing the performance, literally pretending to be someone who isn't looking at themselves, but is looking at two people, or if it's a business coaching thing, then that you're looking at the performance of that person who is in that interview, that person who is doing that sales pitch, that presentation, and looking at it in a way that was like, how can I look at the behaviors and the structure of that person, the presentation they're giving, and go, what worked, what didn't work, how do we make things better? And so this is the analysis of the rich data set that I was talking about. Once
Yes.
we do this, then we can go, okay, this was really bad. When you made a joke about everyone's mother-in-law, that was a real bad thing to do. So now we're going to mentally redo that, where we don't have that joke, where we have just maybe a greeting and, help yourselves to a cup of tea or coffee or whatever. Don't do that joke. And then we're in training the mind to respond in this way. And we do it so many times that, it's like, yeah, okay, now that feels normal. Because these things that don't feel normal, they only don't feel normal because we don't do them very well. We don't do them enough. If you're in a situation where you're experiencing bad treatment, if you experience bad treatment enough, it will become your normal. It's not kind or nice or just, but it will become normal for you because you habituate to it. You can get conditioned to that stimulus. So it's just about retraining the mind to see a different outcome and mentally rehearsing that, seeing yourself as that person, and then, imagining yourself vigorously as that person who's doing the right thing. Whether we're talking about in business, whether we're talking about in a relationship, whether we're talking about in sports, it doesn't matter. The brain doesn't have a section for sport and a section for relationship and a section for business. It's about stimulus and response. So I'm quite old school in my approach, and I don't. But because I come from a martial arts background, martial arts is very much, okay, we'll teach you how to punch. Now do that a million times. And we assess while you're doing this, first 10,000, it's okay, needs more power. Second 10,000 needs a bit more timing. But it's a long-term project. We're not, to build neurons and to make big changes in our minds, we have to repeat. We have to repeat and condition, and so I use that element from the martial arts to this isn't a one-trick abracadabra. It's not a spell. You know what I mean? One prayer to a certain person is not necessarily going to make this like a magic trick. So it's about using the magic that was in us, the magic of our resilience and our self-compassion. Okay, when we are compassionate to ourselves, when we're kind to ourselves, so we're not, by that, let me explain. When we're looking at our performance that went wrong, we're not looking at ourselves going, oh, you stupid idiot, you made a mess, you dishonored yourself,
Yes.
you made it stupid.
Yes.
We are going to go,
Self-criticism, self-doubt.
exactly. Okay, so we're going to cut that energy away. We're going to cut that away. So we're just looking at the person who said made some bad choices. Okay, and then we're going to see ourselves doing the right thing, and then we connect, and then we go, yes, this is the right thing. This is the right thing, and we're stimulating our minds so we get excited. I have people get into in a very interested, switched on state, like if they were watching their child or their lover or friend perform, they would be very interested and switched on. The brain is paying attention, not just watching some poor rubbish TV show. This is not stimulating for our minds. We have bombarded in stimulation, so we have to make it special. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Anyway, maybe I don't know whether I answered your question, but that's it.
I got it. Al, I want to, yes, life coaching, business coaching, therapy is interesting areas, but still I want to know more and more about your
Mhm.
peak performance. You have helped athletes to become European and world champions.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
initially, Al, like no one would believe themselves. Like,
Mhm.
will I be able to achieve? They have goals. These athletes have goals. They go through a lot of stress, financial, physical endurance, emotional, so things like from where they are to take them to a championship level. It's a lot of work.
Sure.
So like what uh, how could you boost them and what is
Easy.
this peak
Easy.
performance? Easy.
Easy, easy, easy. Watch this, right? Okay, so think of somebody in your family, right?
Okay, okay.
Someone in your family who you love, right? Okay, now, if I said to you, uh, right, brother, I want you to go and run a marathon,
Hmm.
you're going to say, no, I can't. I haven't trained for it. You know, I'm going to hurt my feet. I'm not in the condition, unless you are. I don't know. But then if somebody told you a different story and said, the special person in your life, their life is depending on you making this journey. You know, they have to have a kidney transplant, or somebody, you know, is holding them hostage. You're already putting your shoes on and getting your vest on, and you're already warming up, ready to go. Because so it's about connecting yourself with a sense of purpose, which is like, it's not just, oh, I can make it. Where a sense of purpose is like, is grabbing you and it's pushing you, you
Yes, yes.
see. uh, and you know, there's been scientific studies that show that if you are connected to purpose, your ability to um, go through sufferance and hardship, your tolerance is greater. If you're connected to that thing, it's like, well, I'm doing it because. So you have to know your why. This sounds very cheesy and stereotype, but if you're connected to your why, you know, then yeah, I'm doing it for my children. Nothing's going to stop that guy. You know, that if they're like, I have to do this for my children, for my mother, for my father, for my whatever, you know, or you know, for my ancestors or whatever. So I'll use whatever comes up. Whatever I think is going to work, will, if it doesn't work, we'll choose something else. But connecting somebody to a sense of purpose. And then once there's a sense of purpose, you know, I'll then steal a little bit of something from the East, which is the Dharma, right? And say, this is Dharma. Explore this. Does it feel right to you? Is this your Dharma? This is your Dharma. This is your path. It's so important. And then help the person be imbued and filled with that sense, being filled with, you know, a real destiny and a real strong sense of this is, it can take you, you know, it's like, then when they're beaten and broken, they're like, oh, okay, well, I know why I'm here. You know, so that's like the first thing uh, I will do, is give them that strong sense of purpose, you know. And um, I I'm very passionate about that. So I will jump around the room and, you know, wave my hands and come on. And, you know, so I know it's not nice to see maybe, but hopefully it works, you know. And so, because I demand that person to have the outcome that is going to be good and healthy for them, you know. And why shouldn't they have success? There's somebody somewhere else who, if you're not believing in yourself, then don't worry, because I guarantee there's somebody else somewhere in a war-torn, you know, poverty-stricken country who is choosing to believe in themselves. You know, so it's like, if they can do it, you can do it. You know, it's just a matter of switching on and applying yourself, and then continuing applying yourself, and then resting, and then refreshing, and then doing it again. Yeah, it's not about constant, because we're not human. We're humans. We're not robots. So progress is like, it goes up, we plateau. Sometimes it peaks a little bit, and then it goes up again. And so I have mechanisms. So like, when people think that they're on a plateau, especially people who are interested in performance, right? They're going up, well, they're making progress, they're happy, they're like, great. And then the minute it trails off to plateau, they become babies. You know, they become babies. I'm like, no, it's not working. Wait a minute, you're all the way up here. You were down here, and now you're here. So what's the problem? Don't be a baby. Just rest. Consolidate is a word I use. Consolidate means get used to being at this level. It's okay. And then when you've had long enough in this level, then and maybe you even need to have a little dip in your performance at this level to make you feel a bit of panic about being all the way back down there. Then you'll boost up again. And so I have this whole crazy mind map where, like, what most of the time, when the person says, oh, you know, my performance this in business or athleticism or fighting or whatever, you know, I've reached a point, but then I can't. Then I'll go, okay, well, first things, are you working on purpose, with purpose? If not, then we do that. And the other thing is giving that person the tools for them to transform their experience, to just tinker with it, change it, modify it, adapt it in a way that they don't, you know, respond in an and I mean this with respect, an emotionally immature response. Because they could be big, strong, tough men, and then the minute they have a plateau, they become like babies, you know. And I have to say, come on, like, just get used to being here. It's okay to be here, and then get used to being at this level because you've come so far. Now look down to all the place, you know, the distance you've come from. Oh yeah, it's really good. Oh yeah, but now that doesn't count anymore. So within that is obviously the concept, you know, of gratitude and practicing compassion for the self, you know, so that you're not always thirsty and greedy and hungry. Sometimes it's like I'm obsessed with I don't know if you heard of King Arthur. King Arthur was this mythical king in England, and he was like this from you know, medieval, very ancient times. King Arthur was this. He had he had a table where all his knights would sit around the table. It was around Knights of the Round Table is a famous thing, right? And so because all the knights would, he said, when we discuss the war, we're all equal. We're all brothers. We're all going to be on the same level. It's not like a hierarchy. But he, from King Arthur, famously, you know, whether he actually said it, I don't know, but he said, enough is as good as a feast, you know. And this is something that is like, you don't always need to be thirsty. You have enough right now, and getting used to having enough is like okay for a while, and then you can plan your next phase. So this is just, you know, maybe I've gone off on a sidetrack too much, but so I have these set pieces and these views from different angles that I can use with people to help them if they're in a certain level of their development, you know.
Got it. And you started the answer with easy. I was like, really? But you come with such a warrior mindset, and then you are implementing from your own experience. You have your own, and that's awesome. That was very insightful. That there is up, there is a down as well. But when you felt good in your up, why not? You are, you know, why are you becoming a baby when you're in your low of
Yeah.
life? So it's accept that and then move ahead. That
Yes,
was
exactly. Yeah. 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 Absolutely.
awesome. And you also help women in the real estate where, you know, there were a lot of police exactly, or like you could call like a gang of dismissive or sexist builders. How
Yeah.
these female property developers won over such, and how, what was it? Again, any aspect I see there is this commonality of the mindset, but still I
Yeah.
would like to know some of the experience of.
So I can't speak for where you are, but here, you know, generally speaking, it's a big generalization, big stereotype. So forgive me if I'm not trying to offend, but here the building is done majority 99%, the actual building is done by men, right? And so like if there's a woman who's saying, I want this house built, I'm a property developer, I want the kitchen here, the kitchen there, these guys are like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, great. And so it can be quite intimidating, for a woman. So in the past, I've helped people like connect to that. Again, it's the same. It's like connect to a sense of purpose. Like, well, why are you doing this? Well, I want to make money. Okay. Why you want to make money? Oh, so I can give a better life for my family. Okay. How important is this? It's everything. Okay. All right. Now we have something to work with, So, and sometimes I'll, try to, throw in some provocative elements like, maybe this is not for you. This is man stuff. Why don't you go away? Because if you have a hand up and you put another hand, the minute you start to push a hand, it push back. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
So if you start to say, look, maybe it's not for you, maybe you shouldn't have success, let somebody else have this. No, it's for me. So because nobody wants to miss out, right? If somebody's giving out sweets and go, no, you can't have one, you're going to want that sweet more than anything you've ever wanted in your life, right? So having these little kind of I suppose set pieces or stances, this is how you speak in the provocative way, take a stance of like, don't worry, it's because of your family's fault, you're not a high family, you're a low family, you guys aren't supposed to be developers, you're supposed to be the builders, you're supposed to be the brick carriers, you know what I mean? And so this will inflame people, and people will say, I hate you right now. I'm like, that's okay, I don't mind that. Now let's use that fire and make it towards your purpose. And so now if you feel like you're intimidated by the builders, like they're going to do what I tell them because I'm paying their wages. Okay then. So I'm not afraid to manipulate people in a way that is going to bring a good response for them. My job is to do that, really, but it's done with love, and it's done with a good purpose, and for their development. They don't have to be my friend and my sweetheart for the rest of their lives. My job is to go in, to help them see themselves and work themselves with a certain way, and then they go and this actual person that the one I'm thinking of, she recently showed another house that I'm not even working with her anymore, but she's developing more houses, like 6-bedroom houses, amazing, look like a mansion. And for me, I'm like, because I know she's just gone through that. And so it's very joyful for me to see that success in people, I love that.
So, Al, thanks a lot for sharing your experience as a life coach, as a business coach, as a therapist, as a peak performance coach. You're helping almost all categories of people with various needs, catering to different requirements of the people. So it's been very inspiring to have this
Thank
conversation
you.
with you, and thanks a lot for sharing your insights. It's been wonderful knowing you, and to get to know more about how Warrior is now helping people to peak performance in every aspect of their life. That was very inspiring, and thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate you, and you're basically giving such a beautiful platform and a blessing for people to speak their truth. And when in this situation, people think, oh, somebody's being interviewed, who's being interviewed? They don't often think about the interviewer, because you're the one that is doing all the hard work. You asked me a question, I'm responding, but you're doing all the hard work. So I'm very grateful to you for doing that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And also, thanks a lot to Andrew Aston for connecting me
Yes.
to you.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
very
He's a
much.
great guy. Great guy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.